Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the FinTech panel. My name is Jason Fernandez. I'm COO and co-founder of AE Token. I've been a huge proponent of blockchain and crypto for several years now. I've been writing about it at least since 2012, and FinTech in general. I think now would be a good time to do a round of introductions. Let's start with Varun. Should be. Say something. Yeah, now sure.
Hi everyone, my name is Varun Vasista and I'm a co-founder and CEO of Paysi. Paysi is a crypto payment platform where you can use all your cryptocurrencies with a single QR code, and Paysi offers multiple services like hotel booking, flight booking, movie tickets, train tickets, mobile postpaid, all other bills and services using cryptocurrencies. We also have Paysi debit card, which offers, it's a virtual debit card. You can connect with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and you can use it any POS terminals. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Thanks, Varun.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Neha. I'm a lawyer. I work in the fintech space. I run my own consulting firm. I help startups launch their business into Singapore. I also help them with market access and expansion. As a pro bono, I help women start career in fintech. So if you're looking to get some advice on how to get started with your career, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So thank you to be here today with us. I'm Raphael. A bit more than 10 years on the financial market for bank, BNP, Natixis, Royal Bank of Scotland in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Paris. Since 2017, I'm a Ethereum blockchain smart contract consultant, helping company out there to make sense of tokenomics, of token dynamic on the market. And since last year, I'm heading NodeSwap, which is a decentralized financial company. We are providing masternode, staking as a service. Our target is to facilitate passive income access for everyone. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Manat Parekh. I'm currently investing in a lot of startups, not necessarily in blockchain, but it can vary. Prior to that, I've been part of the industry for the last 14 years, where I've been working on the financial side, M&A, IPOs, blockchain, cybersecurity, a lot of stuff. So this is what I've been doing, and currently I'm working as a board member and advisor for a company called Connecting Dots.
Great. Thanks, Maneet. I think a good way to start would be, how about we run through some of the major monetization options for fintech? Would you like to start, Varun?
So like in fintech organizations, like we have like revenue generation opportunities, like brokerage fees, transfer commissions, like in TransferWise they charge. Okay, sure, sorry. In TransferWise, like they charge extra like 0.5% over the Visa commission charges and all. Also in fintech organizations, like they use transfer commissions, brokerage fees, commission fees on services they provide, all the stuff. That are the opportunities for monetization.
Okay, Neha, would you like to add to what are the possible monetization opportunities for fintech?
So in my view, I think the best way and the most prominent way that the people usually do it is to charge the customers. And I was reading a survey which says about that 65% of the organizations make their money through charging the customers. But the question is whether you are clear in terms of how much you want to charge, how you want to charge them, and how would you communicate with your customers. So I think that's where the real challenge lies. And as an entrepreneur, when you're trying to work on your business model and the revenue model, it's important for you to figure out whether you're going to be charging the customer, or it could be the third party, the merchants, or it could be the other organizations which are using your data. So once you have clarity in terms of what you want to do, you can also pitch your business idea to the VCs accordingly. And in most cases, if the VCs know that you have more than one revenue stream, then you're able to get the funding a lot more easier. So I would say that charging the customer is an old school model, but when you talk about technology firms like Google, Facebook, they're coming up with new models of using the data and trying to have this intimate relationship with the customers so that they can provide these end solutions.
How about you, Ralph?
Yeah, I have a Yeah, I agree with you that basically the fees and charging customer is the main things out there. But on the financial market and legacy kind of business like hedge funds, let's not forget about the sharing revenue. So basically, you're charging customer little fees, and typically for the 220 hedge funds model, typically you are going to get 20% on what you make, which is basically, I believe, kind of the future for the fintech. Instead of trying to get fees, because I don't know you guys, but I'm a bit, concerned to have to pay fees each time and to have to compute what is the real price at the end. So basically, for a fintech that is able to generate revenue and to take some part of it, like kind of a sharing model, I believe that it will be better and more in the future.
Great. And how about you, Manit?
I agree with everybody, and I further want to add that for me, pure monetization comes from becoming a data-centric entity. Today, if you look at fintechs, everybody is focusing on a single channel attribution. There's so much of data lying around, it's in silos. All the signals are looked at individually, but never at the holistic view. And today, if you look at companies like Paytm or PayPal, who are fintechs, they have so many business options, but they always focus where the maximum ROI is coming from. It might be the wallet, it might be the payment gateway, it might be different avenues. Hence, single channel attribution. For me, the real monetization lies in the fact that the day when the companies look at it from an omni-channel attribution perspective or a data-centric, that is where the massive amount of revenue to be earned for all these fintechs come into play. As Rafael mentioned, I don't like paying fees. In today's world where things are becoming so digital, everything is easily available. What's the point of paying a transaction fee or a service fee? Can it be made smarter? Can you bake in a model where I'm paying you a fee, but without really paying you a fee? And that all boils down to how you curate, how you manipulate the data that comes to you. For me, that is the new monetization model.
Oh, fantastic. So we've heard a lot of buzz about fintech in general. How true would you see the statement that essentially fintech is now sort of more just a fancy word for some sort of brokerage fees model, similar to what Rafael was talking about?
Generally, like what about Manit said about Paytm and all other stuff, like it's already happening around since long time. So now making new models by making new financial models makes better, like using the data like Google and Amazon are doing. Yeah, Amazon, they're all like TechFin, like all the technology companies coming into fintech and making and solving the problem by using new technologies, data and everything, and low cost. So it's like new model should come. So I don't think like going with the brokerage fees as the fancy term is not a good thing. Yeah.
Okay, great. And how about you, Neha?
I think the brokerage model has been very from ancient times, and what we're doing with fintech is of course the buzzword, but fintech has also been there for a very long time since finance has been around. So both go hand in hand, and I personally feel that it's about not coining a new term, but it's about finding the right pitch when you are starting the business, because I think we're trying to figure out how the fintechs can have a perfect revenue model when they're starting out, or when they go along, they should be able to have some clarity on how they can monetize the data, as Manik said. But I think as a lawyer, what I really like to focus on is to see if there's data security and the data protection, because data being the new oil, it's important that we manage it really well, and we have the GDPR and all those things coming up. So I think for me that's the most important angle.
Yeah, if you could hold it closer to your mouth, that'd be great. And Rafael, what do you think? Since anyway you brought that point up earlier about monetization and brokerage fees and how they essentially glorify brokerage fees, what do you think? Yeah,
I believe it's a legacy way of business model to get the fees by the brokerage and providing those services. And I really believe that in the future some disrupted industry are going to take off, even from the legacy banking. Recently, the last 2 weeks, we begin to saw negative interest in Germany. So some banks are calling customers and telling them, look, you get 1,000 euro, you borrow 1,000 euro with us. This 1,000 euro is going to cost you $800. right? I don't know whether you. So with those new business model disrupting things, I really believe that it's possible to diversify the channel and maybe getting less fees from the brokerage model.
Okay, fantastic. Mani, before you start, I just wanted to remind the panel to hold the mic closer to their mouth because it's really hard to hear y'all. Mani, how about you?
I agree with everything everyone's saying. My only take is, I think consumers like ourselves, including me, we're very short-sighted. All the fintechs, banks, everybody who's asking for a brokerage fee is kind of packaging it so smartly nowadays. For me, nowadays, it's being looked at a cashback model. People are coming to me and saying, sir, why don't you get this credit card? Why don't you do this wealth planning management? Why don't you get into this program? So much cashback will come to you. But that is being packaged in such a way that they're giving me my own money back. So they're charging me a brokerage fee and then telling me, okay, you're earning this much back because you invested so much. So for me, as Rafael said, it's all legacy. It needs to get away, it needs to move away. There has to be a better way of putting it across. And now with the audiences getting more intelligent by the day, with a lot of new technology coming into play, and specifically TechFins. I mean, number one, there needs to be a lot of clarity between fintechs and TechFins. But specifically a lot of TechFins coming into play. I think if traditional banks, financial institutions, and fintechs don't get the house under order, they're going to get blown away.
So fantastic. You brought up TechFin, which is interesting. It's a sort of a new buzzword that's come out. Which do you think would be easier? Do you think there's a difference? So first of all, if you could explain the difference between TechFin and FinTech, actually going in order, if you could explain the difference, and then do one or the other have a higher chance or easier path to monetization? What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Fintech organizations like TransferWise, like Western Union and all, these are fintech organizations, and they're like TechFin organizations are like the technical companies like Google, like Microsoft. They're coming up with the fintech solutions to help the people by using the data and all the resources they have, the cloud services, the data. As Neha said, data is a new oil, it's a new revolution coming up. So the security thing and everything is highly secured in the technical companies. So the technical companies might be using all those things, and it might be low cost, and it will be very fast and everything when compared to the traditional fintech companies. Because fintech companies, what they do, they plan a model, they do everything, again they change the model, they trouble the customers. But when coming to the TechFin models, they know what should have done, what should be already there in the market to make people solve the problems what they're facing it.
And what do you think, Neha? Do you agree with him on the TechFin has sort of the better chance of monetization?
Yeah, so I will start with your first question, which was about the difference.
Sure.
So as a fintech, you start off with a financial firm using the technology, and TechFin is the other side. You start as a technology firm and you're using finance. So if you talk about technology firms and let's say the mobile subscription providers, you see that they started off just by providing mobile subscription plans, and then they got into banking services as well. So we have seen that in Kenya, we have seen that in India as well.
Right.
So I think there is a lot of scope because they have all the data. They are watching the customer. They exactly know what their data journey is like. They understand their lifestyle. So as long as they have access to these two things and they understand the pain points, they can definitely deliver smarter solutions. And as they say, we don't need banks, we need banking. So we don't need traditional banks to offer us the traditional kind of services. Right. So TechFins definitely stand a good chance, but it remains to be seen how it pans out, because there was a lot of skepticism around blockchain as well from the very beginning, but things have come to a point where we are accepting it, adopting it. I think when we talk about TechFins like Apple, Facebook, they definitely have a bright future, but I'm definitely holding back my judgment on that.
Okay, how about you, Rafa?
Yeah, I concur with what you exactly said, right? And I believe, it's data-centric, and it's most of the time a big company. So the immediate picture that I get in mind is obviously in China, where we have Alipay and WeChat that are closely related. And basically, they are, challenging the bank with good reason, because they have the users, they have the data, they have the power to do it. They have the financial power to move the things forward for the good way or the bad way. It depends. But in any case, I believe that those big companies are going to challenge the bank more than Revolt, for instance, or the previous successful fintechs that we have seen the last 10 years.
So you're saying it's more TechFin than FinTech?
Yeah. Anyway, in any case, it's also kind of buzzword, right?
Right.
What is the real difference between a fintech for when Facebook is going to the Libra? Is it a fintech or a TechFin? Is it Alipay, a TechFin or a fintech? Because originally they were fintech, Alipay, because they are long time ago that they're on the market. So yeah, but to describe it, if I need to give a description and a definition of that, I will say, yeah, people that have companies that have a good amount of customer that can leverage this data, have enough power in terms of tech, like Facebook, Google, and WeChat, Alibaba, they can definitely challenge the model.
And what do you think, Mani? Do you think it's, essentially a distinction without difference? TechFin and FinTech is just a question of nomenclature, or do you think there's an actual difference and that one has sort of a better chance of monetization than the other?
Definitely the two words are just a buzzword, for sure.
Right.
But there is a difference. So let me put it across. For me, a FinTech, essentially the company who has taken existing trade structures and then trying to figure out how to deliver it in a better manner using digital technologies to reduce cost, increase revenue, and remove friction. From a TechFin perspective, they're already a technology company, but they're trying to figure out how they can use the technology to deliver better commerce and trade. For me, that's the primary difference. Now coming to the monetization part, right? A FinTech alone cannot monetize the way a traditional bank can, and vice versa. Similarly, a TechFin has a different agenda of how they can monetize. So if you look at FinTech, why did FinTech even start in the first place? The reason was they entered the sector where traditional banks or financial institution did not venture into, undeserved sectors. Number two, they had the stack capabilities, the technical stack capabilities. Number three, they had the innovation mindset, right? Now coming to traditional banks, they have the manpower, they have the money, they have the reach, they have the credibility. They both lack something. Combining the two together as a collaboration is where the real FinTech comes into play for me. Financial, technology getting involved together, and they both get the reach that they want, and they can monetize beautifully. Now coming to TechFin. TechFins, for me, like example like Google, Apple, Alibaba, extremely potent, extremely rich, amazing amount of data because they don't only focus on one particular business service. They have so many different business services within their portfolio. Now for them, a financial service is just going to be one part of the broader portfolio of services that they're providing. Now imagine the data that they are getting across services, across product line. They can use that smartly, and using that data smartly, they can provide at a lower cost the trade and commerce in a better manner that the people are looking for. As Neha mentioned, we don't need banks, we need banking. And TechFins are actually looking at a parameter, can they create a platform or a mechanism where banking is more relevant than banks are? So for me, this is the two primary differentiation. And monetization right now, the only great example from a TechFin perspective for me is Alibaba, Alipay. They've done it successfully. The others, I mean, Apple Pay has been there for a lot of time, but nobody's been talking about it much. So still a long way to go, but yeah, they're catching up. And finally, Jack Ma made a very clear statement long time back saying that the future of financial industry focuses on two parts. One is banks or traditional financial institutions going online, and the other is internet finance. So internet finance is going to be led by outsiders, and online banking is going to be led by the traditional players. For me, that's the differentiation and monetization model.
Okay, fantastic. So we've talked a lot about TechFin, but we're at a conference called Beyond Crypto. So I'd really like to switch gears slightly and talk about crypto. And what do you guys see the role of crypto going forward when it comes to FinTech? What do you think the role is? Do you think there is a role, and how do you think that's going to play out?
The future of crypto is payments, because we have never seen like a successful company providing all the services like everyone needs. So in the fintech industry, like we at Paysi, we are working on a mobile app, which includes like top 15 cryptocurrencies. The people can use it to like book flight tickets, hotels, anything, and we're partnering with multiple service providers. And we want to like make crypto to use by community. We want to make it even used as small, like we go to street food in Thailand. We want people to use them. So we are like integrating a special services, like we integrated AI to make it a single QR code, because people need to know about crypto and blockchain. So if you're coming to like TransferWise, Western Union, when you transfer money, they charge high transaction fees. So but in crypto, it's very less compared to the outside banking and traditional wire transfer. So I think crypto is something that can change the fintech industry.
Okay, and how about you, Neha? What do you think?
So I think Bitcoin reaching 12,000 mark, we have a lot to celebrate. But having said that, I think there is a clear distinction between blockchain and crypto. I'm very bullish on blockchain as a technology, especially in the remittance field, as he mentioned, because it's going to bring down the cost of doing the remittance and the efficiencies there. All of that is there. So I think blockchain is here to stay. Of course, you see a lot of activity happening in the payment space as well. So I think it has a great future. And when you come to conferences like this, you have a high level of optimism, because you see that there is a lot of startups who are using this. But if you talk about jurisdictions like Singapore and Malta and Switzerland, of course there is a lot of openness from the regulator perspective as well. But I think for a real adoption to happen, it's important that we see a kind of same growth, not only in few jurisdictions, but in countries around the world, so that we can see an equal kind of growth coming.
Okay, great. And how about you, Raphael? What are your thoughts?
Actually, I have quite an opinionated and a technical kind of view on the subject, because if we think just 1 minute about what is the traditional business model and what product the bank, retail bank, and a bit the financial market, what it is. Basically, they are managing a ledger for us on all our accounts, and all their business and services are based on that, right? Of course, there is lending, there is a lot of making money with the money, especially on the financial market. But basically what it is just that simple product, a ledger. And now, since almost a little bit more than 10 years, we have that technology, blockchain. I'm not speaking about the crypto, neither Bitcoin, basically, but we have a technology, a product here that is able to manage the ledger in a trustless and decentralized way, right? So for me, it is not, is it going to happen? It's just a question of when, because this technology is actually replacing the old technologies, the legacy technologies that exist already in the bank. And something that a lot of people forget about it, but and I believe that you will be happy with what I'm saying and will join me on that. From a regulatory perspective and from the law, the bank need to keep those records straight, right? And it's actually difficult with some database, and because it's not just write only, it's read only things. And coming back on the blockchain, we have that product that is decentralized, that is immutable. When you put something on the blockchain, you cannot change it. We all know all the story about companies that was losing hundreds of millions because of a mistake on the blockchain. You cannot change it, right? And it's exactly what the bank needs. So coming back on your question, I really believe that it's a no-brainer. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And from the retail bank and their legacy and all the technical background and depth that they are going to have difficulties to move on, to be really honest. For all the fintechs that are already out there that do not have these burdens, probably that they are going to have to adopt the blockchain. It's just a matter of time, from my perspective. Again, it's opinionated, right? But this is my thinking.
So you think it's just a matter of time. And how about you, Maneet?
So I agree with both Nia and Raphael. It's about when. And number two, it needs to have wide adoption. I agree. Another thing I want to add is, I think companies, industries, verticals, everybody has started talking about adopting, if not already adopted, blockchain technologies or distributed ledgers which power cryptocurrencies. Give you a classic example, JP Morgan. Then Bank of America. They're all coming up, they're all jumping on the blockchain bandwagon. Couple of reasons. Number one, it's, fraud is not easy because it's difficult to hack. Number two, the speed is really fast compared to the traditional May. Then comes, now I'll give you another example. There's this company called Seba Crypto AG, based out of Switzerland, which is launching the first crypto bank. And they're creating a model where on one single online screen, you can transfer both your crypto as well as your fiat. Amazing. So people are already exploring, and they've been funded $104 million. So that means the adoption is happening. But as Neha said, it's only happening in pockets. It's not happening widespread. But the good thing is, America is now opening up. Arizona, and all these guys are setting up regulatory bodies, and they're hiring amazing lawyers who are now going to be on the panel to figure out how it can be further regularized and then create a mass adoption. And trust me, I mean, it's been seen that if America adopts, by default, a lot of the countries start adopting by default. So I think it has to begin there. No matter how much we talk about India adopting, or a Singapore adopting, or a Switzerland adopting, or a Thailand, or a Malta, but till America does not adopt, things are not going to move fast. So for me, adoption has already began. It's about when can we expect the widespread adoption to happen. I mean, look at Bitcoin ATM. There are so many of them, right? So it's just about, as you said, when and widespread adoption.
Okay, great. One thing I wanted to dial in on is there's this whole argument between sort of blockchain and crypto. It seems to me that crypto is probably the only fintech-based use case for blockchain, to me at least. But and I know you're big on crypto, so what are your thoughts on that whole block? Because Neha was saying, you know, that you're very bullish sort of on blockchain, but not so much on crypto. Yeah. You, I would imagine, are the opposite. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts was like, make crypto adopted by everyone, make crypto to use everyone. So coming to blockchain and all, like they have the real use cases, but for crypto, the blockchain is the power. Without blockchain, is no crypto.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what the thoughts. That's what the differences between them. Yeah.
And I'd like you to weigh in as well, because you already brought this point up again earlier. About blockchain versus crypto, and why you feel more that you think blockchain is sort of different from crypto and is more useful to fintech as opposed to crypto is.
Well, blockchain has been used. I would say the blockchain has been used widely. Of course, you have cryptos, but also in the space of remittance, payments, lending, so on and so forth. But I guess we're going in the circles because all of us kind of agree that, you know, it's here to stay, and we are yet to see a huge success story coming up because it's an expensive technology. It's not easy to adopt it. It takes a lot of time to actually come up with use cases. We have seen some excellent use cases, especially in the remittance field. But also, I think it's helping towards financial inclusion as well. So if you talk about emerging markets, if they are able to use it, then nothing like it. So for instance, in Singapore, they have a Pulau Bean project, which is an ASEAN remittance project, and they're using blockchain technology to do remittance on the same day. So this project is running really well. They have also looped in SGX, and MAS is doing this in other countries as well in Canada. So I think when it comes to regulators adopting it, then it's a trickle-down effect. But if you don't see the regulator, the market, adoption, and the infrastructure, all these three things are very important. You need to have the infrastructure, the market adoption, and the regulator. So if these three forces join hands, then of course we can see this story going a long way. And as we have been talking, that, you know, there are just very handful of countries who are using it. So if we can just wait and watch, and, you know, let the regulators also take the plunge and play around the regulation, give some clarity, I think we can definitely see a lot of use cases coming along.
Oh, fantastic. So Raphael, one thing I'd like to get into is we've seen a huge revolution in fintech lately. So we've seen companies like Revolut, Apple has released a credit card. What do you think has changed in the market that's made this possible today that didn't exist before? And why are we seeing this revolution today as opposed to otherwise? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's quite easy to guess. Basically, when I'm seeing the audience and people that are on their phone like I was doing before, so I'm not throwing the stone at all, right? But this is it. We all have a small computer with us, a mobile, right? And it's easy to go digital. It's super easy, right? Remember 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when you wanted to send, you know, some news when you were in vacation, you have to send a postcard. It was taking a lot of times. Now with internet, you take a picture, you send a selfie, it's done, right? It's going to Facebook or whatever. But in any case, it's super quick, and we are in the digital ages. So it just makes sense. It's a natural evolution that we can see that the traditional bank, with their process that you go to the bank, you queue, you get money, you send money, it takes ages, honestly, and sometimes it's not even working. And in the digital age, where people are used to have something immediate to contact anyone on the other side of the world in real time, it just makes sense that fintech are coming using the same tools and Facebook, Google, or whatever technology it is out there to provide the same service and to try to disrupt the traditional banking and financial world. I mean, it's just completely normal. In the same sense that, coming back just quickly on the crypto and blockchain traditional question, I'm really seeing the blockchain like infrastructure. It's a protocol originally. It's a bit technical for people, but think about it. Think about internet. It's a protocol, basically, right? And everyone is using for doing a lot of things, sending picture of cat and video of cat and funny Facebook things. And crypto is the same. It's the first usage of the blockchain, of the protocol. So I believe in the crypto in the sense that the application of crypto are just beginning. In 10 years' time, everything is going to change in that regard, from my perspective.
Okay, and Maneet, do you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, can't add anything more what he said. It's a natural evolution, but the only thing I have in mind is it still needs to be seen adoption. It still needs to see adoption. I mean, Apple credit card, Apple Pay, everything has been there for a while, but honestly, I'm not using it. For me, I've not adopted it. And I can ask at least 5 people here, how many are using it? If the answer is no for more than 50%, I mean, it's not adopted as yet. So I think that's the big question. So yeah, so it's a natural evolution. It is going to move. It's just about when.
Okay, and Varun, what do you think about like the revolution and why companies like Apple Pay, and Revolut, for example, are becoming really huge now, and that's sort of the explosion now and wasn't there before? What do you thought?
Actually, I think everyone know Weber. So money is something that can be exchanged in terms of goods and services. In long back days, they used to exchange stones, gold, materials, and whatever the metals and all in terms of goods and services. Now it comes to notes, banknotes and all. Now money is invisible. Now it became digital, it became online, and it got fit into small mobiles. And the tech firms and all of the fintech organizations, they want to provide services to make it easily for everyone to use. And adding to money is right. There should be more adoption. So what we have decided, no one is adopted with Apple Pay and all. Might be in Asia, they have adopted with Alipay, WeChat Pay. So with Payc, we have a debit card. It's a virtual debit card powered by Visa. So what we are using, we are adding all the top 10 cryptocurrencies from CoinMarketCap and the virtual debit card. With a single click, you can integrate with Apple Pay, Google Pay, or Alipay, whatever, all of the PromptPay and all of the things. So we want to make it adopted by everyone because, crypto payments to fiat is very difficult nowadays. So we want to we are talking with Visa to settle all those things. So I think the adoption should be there in future.
And you, Neha, thoughts?
Oh, sorry.
Well, I will talk about, I want to keep it short because I think it's lunchtime already. So I will talk about UOB Bank. It's based out of Singapore, but they launched their Digi app, the digital bank, out of Thailand because they realized that the mobile penetration and the kind of millennial lifestyle that they have in Thailand is just the right market for them. So talking about market adoption, I think I'm a good example. I'm above 30. I'm not a millennial. But I was working in Amsterdam very recently. I was using N26 Bank because as a non-EU, it was a lot more easier for me to open the bank account and have access to all the banking facilities. So suddenly I had a debit card that I could use. Otherwise, I was using my SG card. So I think the ease of doing business and the stickiness that you have these days to these apps is tremendous. And if you talk about DigiBank, for example, from DBS Bank, it's a huge success in India. I have friends who don't really like to walk into the branch, and I remember when Digibank was launched in India, the KYC was done through Starbucks Coffee Bean. So it's a great example of reaching out to the young customers and trying to tell them that, hey, here's this app which works pretty well. It doesn't have any hiccups. You use this and you get some cashbacks. Of course, it could be the brokerage model, but it works very well. But yes, I mean, if I'm going to talk to my mom and ask her to use it, she's not going to use it, because I think for her, it's still a great deal to walk into the branch and have that human interface. So we are in a generation where everyone has access to mobile and the internet, but we are still going back with our old habits. Yeah.
Thank you, Neha. I know we have to leave for lunch, but I just want to open it up to questions. If there's anybody here that has any questions for the panel? Anybody?
I think everyone's hungry.
I think we can discuss, already at lunch, and we have another block after lunch, so everyone is welcome.
Just before waiting for the question, sorry guys, I'm going to be very quick. I have a question for you. Who in the audience has already used crypto here? Just because I'm asking it each time, so we have 1, I know 2 over there, 3. Okay, thank you very much.
4.
Thank you.
You have to count her. She was expected.
4, sorry for that. Cool. So it's going up. Thank you for your answer.
Okay, thank you so much. It was an amazing panel.